to restore holy might, using weapons of light to win epic fight. And I know, no matter how dark the days may seem, as long as we're fighting as a team.
Right, hello, welcome to London Marylebone at 9:02 in the morning.
And we're going on that.
Yes, so the recent announcement of Chiltern procuring the Mk3s, we have decided we're going to go on one of these and we're going to see exactly what we're going to be losing. Because, well, we'll give our thoughts on the Mk3s at the end of the video, but safe to say, the poor commuters of Chiltern are getting a downgrade.
You're going on that one over there.
Yeah, we're going on that one. That one's for CCS now. Right, I think without any further ado, let's
go.
Get on, let's go. Right, and we're on the Mk3.
Very nice Mk3.
Very
I've felt
nice.
a single bump. It's a bit squeaking, but that's normal.
Yeah.
These seats are incredibly comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mk3s, yeah, despite it's good that they're not all getting scrapped and they're going to enter service again, they need to have new seats, new suspension, and an interior refit, which they're not having. They're just coming straight from TP, and they're going to have the TP inside, so it's going to be a downgrade basically. It's a newer train, so aesthetically it would look quote unquote better, and it will be quote unquote safer, but the interior will be less comfortable, it'll be more bumpy, and it just wouldn't be as pleasant to ride on as the Mk3s. Now, I'm not saying that the Mk3 should stay because they're
50 years old?
yeah,
at this
50
point?
years old, but replacements should be able to live up to a similar standard.
Yeah, and here just comes the problem with the Mk5s is they just aren't of the same quality. You know, they have the whole suspension crack issue, which, let's be honest, we all know that's why they were withdrawn from TPE.
That is why they were withdrawn. That's what the chairman of TPE actually said. That's the reason why they were withdrawn.
And the seats on the TPE first, on the ex-TPE Mk5s. Now, the first class seats, I'd actually say are comparatively similar levels of comfort to these. But the standard class seats are really, really, really bad. And, you know, we're basing our judgment off of the 397s, which are basically the same thing. And the Chiltern MD, if you've watched the Green Signals podcast episode, the Chiltern MD has basically said they have no intention to change the standard class seats. Problem is they're going to be reintroducing first class on the Chiltern Silver sets. Why that's a bad thing? It's
You have to
because
pay.
you can't sit in those seats for extended periods of time. Because get this, they're not made to be sat in for extended periods of time. They're commuter seats. They're used on commuter trains in mainland Europe. We'll have to pay a premium just to be able to sit in relative comfort.
With no catering on board Chiltern
With no
as well.
catering either. So it will literally just be a premium to actually sit in some modicum of comfort. At this point, I'd just be taking London North Western or hell even Avanti. Right now, Chiltern is my best way to get to Birmingham. I love taking Chiltern
But
to Birmingham.
soon it won't be.
Soon, I will take Avanti over it because it's just, you know, if they're going to be replacing all of the Mk3s and the 168s on the Birmingham route, you know, with this whole new wave of Mk5s are coming in, then, you know, 168s at least provide some modicum of comfort and, you know, you're able to sit in them for the 2-hour journey. I wouldn't want to sit in a Mk5 for 2 hours unless, you know, you still have the declassified first class, which it won't be because you'll have to pay a premium for it.
Basically, I think what I can see happening is more people then ditching Chiltern to go for somewhere like LNWR or Avanti. You are going to add HS2 into this as well, which is also going to mean that there's going to be 4 different train operating companies you can take to Birmingham. I think Chiltern would
Just be beaten out.
It would be beaten out by the fact that HS2 and Avanti will beat Chiltern in everywhere after this.
Because, you know, we were only talking about comfort here. We've also got to talk about 2 other really massive factors.
Time and cost.
And another, reliability. Now, Chiltern and TP will say, oh, they didn't bring them in service because people complained and there were like staff shortages and everything. But, oh God, there are some Mk5s right there. Oh God. Oh God. Anyway, Chiltern and TP will cope by saying that, but it's a very well-known fact that the Mk5s drew too much power from the Class 68 locomotive. Now, what are Chiltern going to be using for the power source?
68.
A Class 68. Not only that, but they're going to be using the exact same Class 68s that TPE used. So they're going to still be drawing too much power from the locomotive. So much so that sometimes they drew too much power to the point where air conditioning wasn't working on the train, because they had to draw all the power from the locomotive just to get the train to move. Then you also have the concern of ride quality. And, you know, this Mk3, very smooth, but, you know, we still can feel a bump every now and then. If the track quality is this bad on Chiltern, oh God, the Mk5s are going to struggle. And then finally, you get the issue of build quality. Now, Mk5s, we all know of the build quality concerns, where just before they were withdrawn from service, suspension cracks were discovered in the suspension of the train. And again, we all know that's probably the reason why they were withdrawn. Now, is it good that these trains are finding a new home? Of course.
Yes, but they could be better.
Yes, and here's the thing. I think the Mk5s, they could be great. Like, you know, they have so much potential. The first class is great. The interior looks really nice. You know, they're really nice and bright. They're airy. Problem comes with they're unreliable, they're uncomfortable, and they're really, really rough riding. And, well, if you've watched the Green Signals episode, you know Chiltern isn't going to do anything about that, despite the thousands of complaints that companies like Great Western Railway get about those seats. Chiltern are still going ahead and not changing the seats on the Mark 5s. As soon as the Mark 5s come in, Chiltern will be getting hundreds, if not thousands, of complaints a day about those seats. Because look at what happens with like GWR and LNER. People put in thousands of complaints a day about those seats. Because get this, they're crap.
Anyway, what we're going to do is we're now going to try and enjoy the rest of our journey and kind of savour the experiences of these before they're gone. So
yeah, because
they're going in about like less than a year, just under a year pretty much.
Such a shame.
Massive shame. Right, we're in standard class.
Yeah. What do you think?
Very nice, very
Yeah,
quiet.
they've got the old IC70 seats.
These are very comfy.
Yeah, very.
We're in the quiet zone, so it got me quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet. So,
Unnaturally quiet.
these are very nice seats.
Very nice and plush. The shaping is good.
It's going
good.
It's going to be sad when these go because these are actually really nice. But
The only complaint I have is that the armrests are fixed.
yeah, that's a bad thing. But
Otherwise, they're great.
they're great.
Yeah.
Mark 5s can't beat this.
No, like the seats on the Mark 5s, they're the same ones that are on like the GWR 80s, the LNR Zoomers. They are nothing on this. You can quite literally, on the Mark 5 seats, feel the metal underneath the seat when you sit on it. These, it's a pure cushion. You sink into these.
These have actually still got the curtains and
Yeah,
the business zone doesn't have them
yeah.
anymore. So
Oh well.
this is standard class.
Yeah.
This is luxury.
I actually prefer these seats to the ones in the
I
business
know,
zone.
but we're already sat back there with all our stuff, so we're just going to go back there.
Yeah.
But no,
Right.
we're going to go back there, so bye.
first ever time in Birmingham for Jack.
Let's go home. Alright, so we are in Birmingham.
Yep, and that is our Chariot. There were 68015.
Yeah, unfortunately they're going to go as well, and they're going to be replaced with the other 68s, which were with the Mark 5s,
Yeah.
with TPE.
Which had
Because-
the whole issue of the draining too much
But
power.
that's because they're the only 68s which apparently can work properly with them for some reason.
Yeah, it
Any-
is a bit weird. It is a bit weird that the fact that they're going to use the same 68s that had the same problem of the Mark 5's drawing power, and they're going to do nothing about that.
To be fair, this station itself, despite my first time in Birmingham, and knowing that Birmingham's apparently an interesting place, so far it's actually all right here. I mean, it's an old Great Western station which apparently closed down before and reopened. So as far as Birmingham goes, it's actually quite nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
and what did you think of the journey?
I think the journey was very nice. It was
Yeah,
a
very
very
comfortable.
easy-going, comfortable journey.
Very pretty as well, going through the Chiltern Hills and the Cotswolds for a bit as well.
I'm
Very
so
nice.
glad that I don't have to go on that 165 all the way back to Marylebone later. That is a downgrade.
You don't say.
Yeah. So we're off to go to Kidderminster to go to the
Yes.
Severn Valley Railway, but in general, these are very nice. Mark 5s are not very nice, basically. I'm not saying that these are the best things in the world and that Mark 5s should get scrapped and these should stay forever, because obviously these Mark 3s do need to go.
Yeah,
But it's just a case of
the Mark 5s are so
the
crap.
Mark 5s trains that will be replacing these need to be up to par in comfort and ride quality to be an acceptable replacement.
Yeah,
So hopefully they do make some improvements, and we'll do a review of these when they come out and see what they're like.
Yeah.
And I wonder what they're going to refurbish these
165
165s
like.
with,
Yeah.
because apparently it will be an interesting replacement. Some battery electric. They want to electrify some of it as well. So
Ooh.
interesting.
Interesting.
So
Right.
let's go.
Yeah, let's go to Kidderminster.
Yeah, bye.
That wasn's really easy to burst, I'm finding out. Stop teabagging!